You know, people say follow your heart. I mean, I say in many of my videos, follow your heart, be true to yourself. But this is what they don't say. Following your heart feels like you're doing the most stupidest thing on earth, literally. And people around you will say that. Literally, they will come to you and say that you're just wasting your time. Why are you doing this? You're making a fool out of yourself. And I'm just inspired to share this story that the first time when I followed my heart and what happened after that. Hope you're ready for the journey. It was in 2013. I was in Singapore. I used to work as a research assistant at National University of Singapore. Um, Live in a shared house. Go to the university every day, and it was a good time. I met a lot of nice people. I was working in the Department of Computer Science and with the top professor in the university. If you don't know, just to give a background about the university, National University of Singapore is, when I was there in 2013, it was the number one university in Asia. Not to brag, but that's the fact. It was the number one university in Asia, and so many students from top tier universities in India, like IITs, they come for internship or thesis. They try their best to get into NUS because the fact of the matter is, like, when you did your research internship, or you did your master thesis, or you did your PhD at NUS, it is a fact that your life is settled after that. Because coming from a top tier cream of the universities and the top businesses like Google, Facebook, they will come and handpick you. It's a fact. So that's the background, right? And everyone in my family, like my parents, everyone was really happy, like, okay, he's doing really good, because they spent a lot of money to help me study in Sweden for my master's. So they were happy that, okay, at least he's making something out of his life. Things were going fine. 6 months, 7 months, I was working. And then I have this inside me, like, whenever I'm doing something, I do my best. But if that something is not what I really want to do, there is a voice inside me that goes like, why are you wasting your time? You know, you're not supposed to do this, or you're not meant to do this. Even if the salary is good, everything else is good, people are happy with you, with my life, and they're like, okay, you're doing really good, man, you're doing great progress in your life, this is awesome, keep going. But that voice inside me that goes like, no, this is not for you, no, this is not for you, you're wasting your time. And as time goes by, that voice gets louder and louder and louder, right? And that's what happened. I mean, I really wanted to do PhD because it settles my life. It's a fact. I have seen students who were doing their PhD get placed in Google, Facebook, and big companies like Amazon, and that's it. Hand-picked, top job, top pay. You're settled for life, right? So I did apply for my PhD at NUS. Since I have had really good relationship with the professor, like he was the head of computing department at that time, like Indian guy, really nice guy, very hardworking, honestly. So he saw my work ethic and he was like, you're very sincere, you don't talk much, I don't talk much. People around me know that. So he was like, you should apply for the PhD. I'm really happy to take you. I'd be happy to take you and support you through the journey. It's like 5 or 6 years to do your PhD in NUS, right? So applied for a PhD, and I did a dumb mistake. I applied for the wrong subject, so it went to a different professor, and this man was so kind enough. Like, imagine he's the top of the department, he's the head of the department, he doesn't have time, right? So he comes to the office, comes down to my lab one day, and he says like, you applied for the wrong position, you applied for a different professor, but don't worry, I personally went into the application system, changed it to my name, right? To that extent he went. But here's the thing, I got the PhD seat and I'm supposed to join in 2 or 3 months, officially enroll. So you quit your research assistantship, which is a job, and you enroll as a student, right? It was like 2 to 3 weeks gap. And the voice inside me was getting louder and louder every passing day. Is this what you want to do? People around me were coming to me and they were congratulating me. My lab mates, man, you're great. It's really great. You're working with a top professor in NUS. Your life is settled. Just forget about the next 6 years. Put your head down, do your work. Everything else is taken care of, right? didn't happen that way. I couldn't do it. I tried. So this is what I did. That's the first time I truly listened to my heart. I knew it was not what I had to do, right? So I took the envelope. That's your offer letter. And I still remember walking down the university building. You have to climb a few floors. Each step I was taking, my mind was going like, "Are you sure? Is this what you want to do?" And there's another voice like, "You're making a fool out of yourself. You're throwing your life away. Your parents struggled so hard to make you study." All these voices, and then another voice like, "You know this is what you have to do. Just follow your heart. You'll be fine." Imagine I was really young at that age, 24. I didn't know anything, and I just know that there is this voice and it is saying, and it is coming from my heart, and I just need to be honest. So I knocked on his door. My hands were shivering. I had the envelope in my hand, and he said, "Yes, come in." And he was really happy to see me because he knew that I'm going to join him as a student, his student in a couple of weeks, right? So he said, "Please sit down, Nithilan, what do you want?" I sat down, cleared my throat, took the offer letter, kept it on the table, and told him, his name was Abik. "Abik, I'm not gonna join the PhD. I don't think it's the right thing for me to do. So I have decided to quit." He was literally taken aback because he said this to me. He said, in his whole career, not a single student has come to him and declined his PhD offer because it is really that valuable. Like if you do a PhD under him, he's top professor, can go and check. Your life is settled. For granted, your life is settled. You can choose the country, you can choose the company, you can choose it. You can pick. People will come and pick you for the job, right? So he was like, "Are you sure? What's wrong with you?" And I didn't know how to explain because I didn't have a clear reason, right? But I just felt this is not for you. So I just told him, I just feel this is not the right thing to do at this point. So I want to quit. And I quit my job because once you break the relationship, there's no way you're going to continue working with him, right? Because it is like that. I hope you can understand. Quit my job. All my lab mates walked down to me and like, "You're so stupid, man. Why would you do that? It's just dumbest thing to do." My family, I'm really lucky that my father didn't say that. He was like, "I don't know why you're doing this, but if that's what you really want, I will support you." Right? I'm really, really grateful for that. And I flew back to India. The next 1.5 years was the toughest time in my life. I didn't have a job. I didn't want to join any random job in India, IT or whatever. No, that's not. Because as I came back to India, I realized like what I really wanted to do was I wanted to work in domain of self-driving cars. I didn't have any background in self-driving cars. I'm a master's in computer science, networking, embedded systems, but I don't know AI, I don't know machine learning, I don't know anything about any of that. But I really wanted to work in that field, right? And you know what happens? At that time, we were living in a small town, like so many small houses, very, very close. And they see this guy, he came back from abroad, he studied abroad, and he's staying at home 6 months, 7 months. He has a long beard and he's not doing anything. People start asking questions. Maybe there's some problem with him. Maybe he's not fit. Maybe some health issues. Or maybe something bad happened at the workplace and he's just spending his time. Relatives start calling. They don't talk to you. It comes from behind. Your sister comes and says, your mom comes and says, like, "Why are you still not going for a job?" And someone calls you up and says, like, "I can help you get a job. Tell me. I have friends in good positions in company. I can help you get a job." I just said, "No, no, 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 no. This is not it. This is not it. This is not it." And it was around that time I started vlog. That's another story, my translation business. I'll go into that another story. I really had financial commitment at that time because I was helping a family in Sri Lanka. I haven't shared that to anyone before, so even now very few people were close to me know that. So I had a really big financial commitment every month, and I quit my job. So if you think that okay, he has parents taking care of him, no, that was not the story, because they didn't know that I was supporting some family in Sri Lanka. and it was really every month I have sending a big amount of money. So in that situation I quit the job, right? And that's when I started freelancing online. And I still remember the day I did subtitling for $15 for 1 hour of video. That's like what I spent 15 hours to 18 hours because that was the first project and I really needed that money, right? So that was the situation. And I'm really happy that the business took off after that. But I still remember that point, that day, when everyone around me was saying like, you have made the dumbest decision in your life. You studied abroad, you studied so hard for this, to stay at home and do nothing. You don't even want to go to a job. Why are you wasting your life? You're still so young, and why you want to do this? But I said no, no, I'm not joining any job, random job, just because they pay me well. I'm not willing to do that. No, I'm not willing to settle down for less, right? So I started doing courses. I learned AI, I learned machine learning. I joined courses online like Coursera, Andrew, machine learning courses from top professors. It's all free, like, or it's like very less money. You can learn online. The opportunities are there. I did that for 8 months, stayed at home. I still have a folder in my email which has all the applications I made to different machine learning companies and labs, self-driving companies and labs all around the world. I literally applied thousands of them and all of them got rejected. I still have it to this day, marked that label as X folder. It's a reminder for me that when you follow your heart, initially everything closes. You feel like you're making the dumbest decision in your life. People start doubting you. It comes a point where you start doubt yourself. But then you still keep going, still keep applying, still keep learning, because you know this is what you want to do. And it happened. It took 1.5 years. A lot of things happened in my life around that time. And finally I landed in Japan and I was doing really what I wanted to do. I remember that day when I was sitting inside the self-driving car. Next to the driver's seat, there is no one driving the car. There was this laptop on my lap. I'm programming, and what I'm saying to the computer, the car is driving, right? That's what I dreamed in my mind. Like, this is my ideal job. This is what I wanted to do. And 1.5 years, all that to follow your heart, to lead to where you want to go, to get the job. It was not a really high pay because I don't have the experience. No one is going to pay me high for no experience. But the professor was kind enough to give me the opportunity. He saw that fire in me. I don't know what he saw. He hired me from India. I went to Japan, and that's how I landed my dream job. Right. So if you're someone who is on the wall between like, should I follow my heart? People will say things. Yes, people will say things. They will say you're dumb. They will say you're stupid. They will say you're a fool. They will say so much that you will start saying your voice goes like you're making the dumbest thing in your life. You're doing the stupidest thing in your life. You're making the dumbest choice in your life. All these voices keep going, but still, deep down, if you can be honest and listen to your heart, you know exactly what you have to do and why that's important for you. And even if the whole world says you are stupid, it doesn't matter, right? And it is the scariest when you do it the very first time in your life. I promise it's the scariest thing you can do in your life. I was literally sweating and shivering, right? But I did it. And after 2 years, when I look back, I don't regret a single thing I did. And after that, so many times in my life, I have done dumb things. For people outside think it's dumb. In my heart, I know like that's the right thing. Quit my job so many times. Life happens. But you start believing in yourself. You start trusting in your heart. The deep part of inside you which says like, this is what you have to do. Forget everyone else. Follow your path. One day at a time. One step at a time. And if you ask me, is it worth it? Heck yes, it's totally worth it. So that's something I felt really inspired to share today, and I hope it is useful for you. Talk to you in the next video.